I mean, I might as well just start recording now. It's no use talking about it. Just get right into it. Let's do this thing. Hello. There's a lot to catch up on. There's much to talk about. It has been quite a long time since the last video. Many, many months. Like 4 or 5 months now? 5 months? Maybe even 6? Okay. A lot of things has happened. A lot of things have happened. And I need to fill you in on it. Here's how the account's looking. Beastly now. Still much to work on, but still, like, I'm pretty happy with the progress that I've made in these past 5 or so months since the last update video. So, let me walk you through the things that I did in order since the last one. Last one, I said I was going to be working on 99 construction. Boom, got that knocked out of the way. I did also say I was going to work on 99 woodcutting. However, I didn't end up doing that because it turns out that I did not need as much vlogs as I thought I did. I got a bunch from Miscellanea as well. And I did a little bit of Mahogany Home so that I can get the carpenter's outfit. And that ended up helping out quite a bit. So I didn't have to get 99 woodcutting. So ended up at 96 woodcutting. Got 99 construction, 93 Slayer, because that was the next goal after getting 99 construction knocked out of the way. I meant to go back to Slayer so that I could start working towards the final items that I needed to head into Chambers of Xeric. So at 93 Slayer, you unlock Smoke Devils. I proceeded to kill those. I happened to get it after like 50 some odd Smoke Devil kills on my first task, so that was amazing. I got my Occult Necklace. I then also got my Berserker ring at the time. Here, let me just pull out all the items that I have achieved. Also, I got 1 billion GP in the bank. Granted, that has been helped over the past like week or so with the tax changes that Jagex implemented, so some of like the items are going up. But anyways, let me just pull all this stuff out. So okay. So, Occult Necklace. Where's my Berserker ring? It should be down here. Yeah, Berserker ring. I then proceeded to go into Chambers. Let me just pull all of this stuff out. What else do I need? I need some of that. I need one of those. I need this and this and that. What else? I know there's something else. Okay. So that's a good chunk of the stuff that I need to talk about in terms of item wise. So I finished my goal of getting the Occult Necklace and the Berserker ring. I'm buted at Nightmare Zone. I did it, and then it was the long grind of learning how to do Chambers of Xeric. When going in, I didn't know how to do Chambers. I didn't know what I was getting into. My first KC happened to be a solo. It was rough beyond belief. I died like 4 or 5 times and all. It was scary. I had no clue what was going on. But a month later, I was doing solos. I was, killing all by myself. No problems, like deathless raids. And here's all of my raid loot. And I also got both of the prayer scrolls as well as the torn prayer scroll. I also have another like extra 12 of those. But so my first purple was actually a dexterous prayer scroll. So that was really good to get right off the bat. I happened to get a duplicate dex along the way. So I stayed at Chambers from I stayed at Chambers until I got both prayer scrolls. What do you say? KC Cox? Yeah, that should be it. I'm at 290 KC. That's when I finally got the second prayer scroll, the Arcane prayer scroll. So during that time, between getting Rigor at, I think, 20-something KC, until getting the Arcane prayer scroll, I received all of these items. So I got a beautiful Kodai Wand. Look at that bad boy. That was my first mega rare. that was an amazing time. And I also got a Dragon Hunter crossbow, which both of those I also got. Like, I stayed there until I got both prayer scrolls, and that was my goal. So just getting these knocked out of the way beforehand, extremely helpful. Kodai Wand for Slayer, Dragon Hunter crossbow for killing Hydra, which is actually what I've been working on now. But don't worry about that yet. It's later down the line. So I've been working on, like, I finished up chambers. I was doing teams and then learned how to do solos. I got my decks. I got my first Deathless solo, which was a purple, and it was a Kodai. So I turned that bad boy into Kodai Wand. I had to go do a lot of mage training arena, which kind of sucks. That place is not fun. After that, I got the Dragon Hunter crossbow. I got a duplicate Dexterous Prayer Scroll and a duplicate Kodai Wand. And then finally, I got the Arcane Prayer Scroll. So after that, after getting both Prayer Scrolls, it was time to head to Zulrah. At Zulrah, I got these two beautiful items right here. I got the Toxic Blowpipe and the Magic Fang to add to my Trident. I got the Magic Fang first, and I got spooned at Zulrah. KC Zulrah. Check that out. Like 138 KC. Whew. I also got an Onyx from there. I don't think I have it in the bank because I actually turned it into a regen bracelet. What was the reason for that? Something important that I can't think of off the top of my head right now, and I'm sure I'm going to remember as soon as I'm done recording this, and just be like, hey, that's what I needed it for. But anyways, have a regen bracelet. Oh, I think I was going to use it in... No, never mind. That would... Moving on. So after getting those things, I then started back on the Slayer, because now it was time for the grind to 95 Slayer. And at 95 Slayer, you unlock the ability to kill Hydra. And Hydra is the big, bad ass 5-headed dragon that can fuck your day up if you're not paying attention. But this guy is my Vorkath substitute on a hardcore. So regular Iron Man, they have to kill roughly 30,000 Vorkath on their way to 200 mil Slayer. That's a lot of Vorkath. And doing 30,000 KC at a hardcore at Vorkath is just, you're just bound to die at some point. Like 30,000. Like I need you to realize how long that is. That's not just 30. That's just not 300. That's not 3,000 KC. That's 30,000. 30,000. So because of that, that's too much time that I'm risking my account, I would say, at Vorkath. Hydra, much safer. There's no instant kill mechanics. There's no giant fireball of death coming at your face. So instead, I will be substituting Vorkath with Hydra for most of my extra GP and supplies and prayer and all of that stuff. So after getting these items, I then proceeded to start back on Slayer. I also got up to a 98 Herblore. I hit 95 Slayer. And then the first task that I got after hitting 95 Slayer was a Hydra task. That was also super lucky. That was awesome. It was really great to start off on that. So I did some practice on my main account first. I happened to get lucky that the beta worlds were out in that time. So I was just able to hop on the beta worlds and go try out some Hydra, and practices went well, understood everything, and now I feel like I have it down. KC Hydra, how are we looking? 300 KC on the dot now. I've gotten 2 items, the Hydra's Eye and the Hydra Leather, which I have already turned into those beautiful Ferocious Gloves. And I also completed off the diary for the Karen and Kebos Elite. So now I have a beautiful blessing. Helps out a ton. So that's a lot. The longest portion, I would say, was probably the Chambers of Xeric grind. A lot of these have been solo. I would say a good 100, maybe. Yeah, around 100, I think, were teams. But I then started doing a lot more solos. Yeah, that's about it. I'm actually very excited to go back to Chambers of Xeric after getting all my gear upgrades. So current plans, the overall, like what my goals are now. So I got to Chambers, right? I already did that. I now have gotten the things that I needed from Chambers, which were the prayer scrolls. I have moved on to getting better gear upgrades that I will need for the future. Lance, definitely need that for Slayer. Like Kodai Wand, need that for Slayer. I got those. Or I don't have Lance, but I have the Kodai Wand. And I plan to go back to Chambers for the final 3 items that I need from there. That will be the Ancestral Robe top, bottom, and the Din's Bulwark. The Din's Bulwark is used for Dagonoths, for attack training, and for Slayer tasks. And use like this fairy ring teleport method all the way over to Zaya, run down into the catacombs of Karen, spec, and then teleport to your house and rinse and repeat over and over again until you're done with the task. And anyways, so now that I'm at Hydra, I will be getting a lot more GP, which means that I can start affording things like getting top 100 crafting. I can afford the buckets of sand. My GP stacks is at 19 million GP now and some change, 19.8, and I do have some stuff to alch. I hit 1 billion GP bank. Like, look at that, man. It's so cool. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And that will probably just continue to rise because I currently have a Hydra task that I'll be working on to finishing up. And hopefully getting the claw. So current plans now is to get all of the gear upgrades that I want to have for going back into skilling, going back into my goal of top 100 in every skill. I plan to get a bunch of gear upgrades now and then finish it off with the Inferno, and then come back to skilling, and then just start knocking skills out of the way. Just go, 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 go. Getting max, getting top 100s, like, you know, just doing what I set out to do. But however, there's this big, steep climb of a bunch of RNG goals in the way. So Chambers of Xeric, that was already one of those grinds. I did the first part of it. There's going to be a second part. So current plan now is to continue to do Slayer until I get the Hydra Claw. I will be doing Konar Slayer for every task now. So previously, like before 95 Slayer and post Claw, I will be doing Konar every 10th task. But right now, until I get the Claw, I will be doing Konar every single task and then skipping as many tasks as I can without, like, losing out on the good tasks that Konar offers. So Konar offers a lot of terrible tasks, like Blue Dragons over on Soul Isle that has like an extremely long teleport spot in order to try to get there. Like, it's just, you waste a bunch of time. So there's a lot of like terrible tasks like that, but there's a lot of really good tasks like Smoke Devils, you know, Abbey Demons in the like Slayer Tower. Those are decent, not as good as like Necreals. Necreals are wonderful. But, so I'll be doing Slayer until I get the Claw. Once I get the Claw, I will be heading to God War's dungeon to kill Zami for the spear. I'll be then killing Bandos for chestplate and tassets. And then after that, I will be heading back to Chambers of Xeric for the final 3 items. Ancestral Robe top, bottom, Din's Bulwark. If I get the T-bow, wonderful. But I will not be staying at Chambers until I get a T-bow. That's just, that could take literally 1,000+ raids that I think would be better spent elsewhere in other goals. And I'll reconsider at some later point in time if that's actually something that I would want to do and grind out for. But time being, Claw, Zami, Bandos, Chambers, and then the final item, that I will need before I get back into going for top 100 and skilling hard will be the Infernal Cape. I've already done a week of attempts. My PB was wave 53 that I got on day 2, actually. Day 1, I got up to wave 50. Day 2, I got up to wave 53 when, you know, both majors and rangers are spawning at that point, or at that stage. My flicks were getting a lot better. I was understanding the mechanics of everything, then understanding like the blobs. And every day for like that next week, it was no longer a misunderstanding of mechanics that each of the monsters did on each of the waves. It was more of execution mistakes. So I have much more confidence going back to the Inferno after going for these other gear upgrades, and then like having the Inferno as my final pinnacle achievement of like items to go and get, to round off like the things that I set out to go and get and do and achieve and collect, before I get back to skilling hard. And yeah, that's the current plans. Lots to do, lots to do. I'm thinking for the future, next 99 is probably going to be herb lore. I do have a bunch of herbs, and I will be getting a lot more herbs from Hydra and doing farm runs every day. I will be crafting more like lantern lenses, or not lantern lenses. What are these things called? I'm gonna make the light orbs. I have a lot of giant seaweed stacked up from all of my seaweed runs that I do at the end of every farm run. I now have the GP from Hydra in order to afford buying the buckets of sand from that dude in the quarry. And I currently have like 25,000 buckets stored there, just ready to go. Like I already have the sand mined, already have the buckets there. I just didn't have the GP. So next top 100 skill is probably going to be crafting. And plans for the future, like I said, this is going to be a big chunk of RNG grinds. So however long getting the Hydra Claw will take me, however long getting a Zami Spear, Bandos, Chestplate, and Tassets will take me. And then finally back to Chambers, you know, Ancestral Robe, top and bottom, and Din's Bulwark. Those can take quite a while as well. So like there's going to be a long section, or potentially really short if I get really lucky on everything. Like that would be amazing. Oh, just get everything 1KC. That'd be sweet. And you may be asking, how do you do that in Bandos? Well, here's the thing. You could get a main drop, like I could get the chest plate from the big bad boss, and then from the minions I could get some like Tassets or something. That's how I could do it in 1KC. So if that were to happen, I could just breeze on through and be like, oh, before the end of the year, just start skilling again. However, I highly doubt that that's going to be the case. It's probably going to take me a month, maybe 2, maybe 3 if I go really dry, in order to get all these items. But then afterwards, it's back to skilling, back to my goals of getting top 100 in every skill. Let's do a quick overview of the bank of things that have happened. So I've gotten a new pet number 3, pet number 5 actually, because I have 3 rock golem pets, or like 3 rolls on the rock golem pet, and then Rocky, and then now Tangaroot. So a new pet added to the collection. I got it around 37.6 million, 37.7 million, somewhere around there in Farming XP. So I got Groot following me around now. That's a new pet. Big thing is billion GP in the bank now. Supplies, you know, just on the rise. Hydra's Eye, duplicate Kodai, duplicate Ring of Endurance. Just a quick overview of the bank. I don't think much has changed besides just, you know, higher value or higher numbers in some of the supplies. Like buckets are still increasing. Giant seaweeds up to 55k now. Just need a lot more buckets of sand, which I can go and get. Farming supplies. I don't seem to be running out of seeds. Keeping up with farming contracts. And now, like, doing Slayer gives me a lot more seeds, so I haven't been running out. However, whenever I'm done with, like, whenever I put Slayer on pause for a while, like, say, going back to Chambers, I will probably be running out of seeds, and not too sure when that will happen, like, what I'm going to do then for extra seeds. Like, maybe just go back to do a little bit more Slayer for a bit, or maybe even start working on some fire making. But I don't have to worry about that for the time being. Potions are still on the rise. This used to be over 6k. Used a bit of those, but if I decant these again, then it'll be back up there. Something I discovered is that stamina mixes. So barbarian potions are going to be like the way that I'm going to get quite a bit of herb XP on the way to 200 mil fishing. And doing some barbalore, so barbarian fishing mixed with herbalore, barbalore, is going to be making mixes of different types. So for the most common mixes, it's going to be the magic mix and the super attack mix, because at some point I will not need like magic potions anymore to like consume for Slayer, because I'll eventually get the imbued heart. But so that's a bunch of extra herb XP that I can get from there. So I'll be making magic mixes and super attacks, because I will have plenty more super attacks over top of super strength and defenses for super combats. So I can then use all the extra super attacks that I create into super attack mixes and get some extra herb XP from all of the caviar that I'll be cutting while doing some barbalore. And stamina potions happen to be another one of those potions that I will have a lot of, and there's no difference between a normal stamina potion and a stamina mix when just utilizing it for run energy. However, there is a difference when utilizing in conjunction with a ring of endurance. Normal staminas, so ones that have not been turned into mixes, you're able to deposit into your ring of endurance. However, stamina mixes, you cannot. So I can only make, say, half of my stamina potions that I ever make and make them into mixes, while the other half will have to be utilized as charges for my Ring of Endurance for doing something in the future, like smithing, rune crafting, herby, doing some herbivore. Like all of those things will require my Ring of Endurance to be charged up to 500 plus charges in it. And so doing so, I get a lot more herb XP out of making stamina mixes than I do making super attacks or super attack mixes. So that was something else. Oh, right. I was showing off the rest of the bank. Losing my track of stuff here. Sorry about that. This is kind of just like a random video that I'm rambling here. That there's a lot going through my head. Anyway, so here's like my gear, or like not gear tab, but just outfits. Here's all my agility stuff, mining. That's already been seen. So gear tab is actually looking a bit better now, especially with the ferocious gloves, the Kodai Wand, the occult, the dragon hunter crossbow, the beautiful blue backpack, but that was there in the last video. The blowpipe, the trident of the Swati. Things are looking good. I also have a lot of arclight charges for Zami, so this should be plenty. 73. This should be plenty in order for me to get the spear. I don't have a Bofa, and I don't plan on going for one, since the time taken on average to go and get a Bofa, as well as all the crystal armor seeds to then utilize it, Zami is just, for a 1 in 127 drop rate of the Zami spear, it's not worth it for me to go and get the Bofa, and Dragon Hunter crossbow is more than good enough at Chambers of Xeric over a Bofa that I don't need to like spend the time to go and get those things. As well as, you know, the risk of doing Corrupted Gauntlet, that that's a very scary place. A lot of good hardcores have died there. Dupe Dex, which I should probably move back out here where they were originally. I need to make a lot more Ruby Bolts E and diamond bolty. I'm holding off from making like 10,000 or so of them, not because of my like supplies, but because if I happen to get a T-bow, if it's a strong if I happen to get a T-bow from Chambers of Xeric, then I will probably never need to make these again. So I'm only making like maybe 1,000 at a time or even less until I get back to Chambers, and then depending on if I get a T-bow or not, I could then just start utilizing dragon arrows and rune arrows, and for all of my like Hydra Casey that I plan to do in the future for prayer, for GP, for Slayer, all that jazz. Is my alching tab. I need to reorganize it. I'm thinking about moving these seeds down here and like more of these alks that I have that like come up more often. Oh, we got stuff to alk. And move them towards the top, so anytime I flip to this page, it's like, hey, all my readily available alk stuff is right up here instead of like looking at cats. Which my cat stack happened to be sacrificed for death runes. So I no longer have like 130 something cats chilling here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I only got 11 cats now, and another one being grown once I take it out of the bank. Come out, kitty. It's time to put Groot away and have you see the world. Meow, meow to you too. And then finally my clue tab. This is what it's ended up as a single page. I alked some of the duplicates. I alked some of the rest of the stuff that I don't need anymore, or dropped it or whatever. But this, after getting my beautiful ranger boots, look at those green booties. Those are amazing. After getting those, I kind of no longer have a need to do clues at all. So this is probably going to be very stagnant for a while, unless I decide sometime in the future, hey, I really need like Blessed D'Hide. However, I don't think I do. I should have more than enough prayer potions for, yeah, like doing all my Hydra Casey, things like that, that I won't need like that extra prayer bonus from having Blessed D'Hide over Carol's at Hydra. I mean, granted, it would help slightly, but it's not that big of a deal that I don't think I would have to... Like, doing clues is just... It takes away from doing other things that you could be doing instead. You know what I mean? Like, time spent doing clues is not time skilling. It's not time going for an RNG grind for a particular item. It's, like killing a boss, that is not, you know, like doing clues is an RNG grind for a particular item, like getting some Blessed D'Hide of a particular thing, as opposed to just like trimmed or whatever. But that's the bank. Hit 1 billion GP. Very, very happy about it. I also found out where I'm going to be getting most of my food. So I did fish a bunch of these raw karambwans for a nice cooking 6-hour. And I plan to do that once I hit 99 cooking, and then I won't ever burn these, and I'll then send a really solid 6-hour then. However, most of my food will actually be coming from Brimstone Keys. So I got 79 stacked up here. I'm not sure when I'm going to open them all quite yet, but I think somewhat soon. And hopefully I get some cool dusk pieces, but I mean, I'm more interested in the raw food, the gold ore, the coal that I'll be getting from these. So that helps out on a lot of supplies, helps out with smithing, helps out with cooking, as well as just like having food to take with me to Hydra. So I don't have to worry about that anymore, which is really great. And I'll also be getting a ton of extra GP from all that, so... So plans for the future, again, is get the claw, go to Zami, get the spear, make that beautiful Dragon Hunter Lance, and then finally go for Bandos, Chestplate, Tassets, then Chambers of Xeric for Ancestral Robe top, bottom, Din's Bulwark, and then finally the Inferno Cape. The Lava Cape that is way better than a Fire Cape. I'll be finishing off all of the RNG grinds, even though Inferno is not really RNG, it's just a skill thing. So all the RNG grinds from God War's Dungeon, from Chambers, from Hydra, whatever, get those knocked out of the way until I start getting back into some skilling. Just, yeah, I can then pick like whatever particular order. And I do have some ideas about which ones I want to knock out first and which ones I would want to save till later, depending on updates. For example, rune crafting may be changing in the future with like a true blood altar or something along those lines, whatever Jagex decides. Only the future may tell. But yeah, I'm very excited about the progress of my account. I'm very close to 2200 total level. I got a lot of like hidden smithing levels that I need to gain. So I'm pretty much base 80. I'm super close to base 90s. Only more things that are below that are smithing, of course, and then prayer. And then all of these are base 90 except for cooking. And that's it, and rune crafting. So 1, 2, 3, 4 skills that are not in the 90s. And very excited for the future on getting all these RNG grinds. It's going to be the scariest point in my account. After this, it should be the home stretch, like all downhill from there in terms of like scariness that my account will go through. Like the scariest point was, you know, Mage Arena 2 Cape. Like that, having a team log in on you in multi, fucking scary, man. Like you can't do anything to like practice against it, while other things like Zami and Bandos and doing Hydra for the first time, like you can practice those and get better at the bosses, but you can't like there's nothing you can do about just like, well, you're fucked. Like, you just have a team log in on you. You have PKers that are just going to teleblock you and freeze you and fuck your day up. So, anyways, that is everything that has happened since the last video. I'm still working on that that spreadsheet of the breakdown of every skill and what its plans are for like a 200 mil all breakdown. I have not finished that yet. I've kind of put that on hold. I did a large portion of it, but not like there's still a bunch of fine details to work out. And with metas changing, especially with the prayer changes from the Arcane spellbook, that changes things quite a bit, especially in terms of like how many dragons you need to kill. So previously I had to kill like just shy of 600,000 dragons for all the dragon bones, but now it's much less than that. But by how much, I don't know. I still need to finish a lot of my calculations before that is ready for the public to see with their eyes and then look at it and be like, hey, that shit's wrong. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I tried my best. Anyways, I would like to thank you all very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.